Hello and welcome to episode 84 of the Talk Nintendo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Casey Gibson, and joining me this fine evening, as always, the one, the only, Mr. Perry Burkham.
Did you do your look at the thing?
That one, normally I do like a hard right, like I'll speak into the mic, and it's almost like someone's calling me, you know, you do like a quick head turn. That one was more of like a 5-mile stare into space, you know? So I was like, Perry Burkham, and then I was like, trying to see if I could see you from Iowa, you know? Just sort of gazing off into the distance. Although, I think I'm facing north, so maybe I'm not looking at you. Right. I'm looking at David.
That's a nice thing to look at. So, guess what I'm drinking right now?
If I had to guess, it'd be one of three things. The three things, I would say coffee, I would say a ice-cold Coca-Cola, or some water. I'm going Coca-Cola.
You got that straight, buddy. It's my favorite pop, which I believe is going to be, I think it's now and not anymore, and that's Coca-Cola Cherry Zero. It's the Coke Zero with cherry, you know? And I think that they got rid of Coke Zero, and they did Coke Zero Sugar, and it's very similar, but it's a lot more sweeter, and it's not as good.
And that would be bad for you, right?
No, it's zero sugar.
Oh, I thought you said zero with sugar, and I was like, well, isn't that sort of regular Coke?
No. And it's not as good, and I don't know if they're still making they're probably going to make Coca-Cola Cherry Zero Sugar or something. But anyway, I found some at the store, and I kind of hoarded them.
I was going to say, you buy every last single one.
They're so good. I love cherry. Anyway, Casey, so at the end of the show, we are going to have a special guest on, and with a brand new segment.
Oh, and I don't even know about this segment yet.
That's right.
I have an idea of what it is. Can I say what I know?
Yeah.
Give a little So I was told that there would be a new one-on-one competition with the one and only Alex Culafi, who will be joining us for the latter half of this episode. And yeah, I don't know much aside from it's a new segment, and it's not like, you know, how we do Mystery History, where it's a fun little game back and forth. I think it's in that elk, but I really don't know.
All right. Well, that's a good tease for you're right on the ball there. So be sure to check out the end of this episode. And before
you do that,
before we do that, we have probably approximately a billion games to talk about. So
billion and one.
We're gonna start the show with the other new segment, Quick Bites.
Quick Bites.
The heck was that?
That was me munching down.
Wow.
On some.
That sounded like that was weird. All right, so this is gonna be really quick, but I did finish Plague Knight, Shovel Knight: Plague of Shadows, and then I just went ahead and played through Specter Knight. Plague of Shadows took me about 5 hours. Specter Knight took about 4. Wow, Specter Knight is so good. I loved that game. It's so different, you know, than the other ones. I mean, honestly, every level they redid backgrounds and stuff, and new enemies, and it's way more of a new game than Plague of Shadows. And I know that we've talked about this before, but it's fun playing through all three and seeing that Plague of Shadows, did seem like kind of like you're playing through Shovel Knight again, but with a completely different character, but through the same kind of levels. But
yeah, similar feel.
It was great. It was great. And then Specter Knight just is so different and so powerful and so cool. And I would love a sequel to Specter. It's so fun to play Specter Knight.
Like you said, I mean, we've sort of beaten it into the ground, you know, but I can't wait to see what they do next. You know, outside of the Shovel Knight realm, or what is next for the Shovel Knight realm. You know, obviously all of these DLCs have been insane, you know.
Right.
Compared to most people's DLC, this is, pretty crazy, and this is all free. I mean, I guess if you bought the original, like if I were to go onto the Wii U eShop and do like the free DLC, is Specter Knight still free? Like all of these are free, right? If you purchase the original game. Yacht Club, you guys are crazy.
Yeah, so cool, so good. Can't wait for King of Cards. But we're gonna move on to what we've been playing,
and it's a doozy.
It's a doozy, yeah. I'm gonna start it off with Jotun Valhalla Edition. I think it's Valhalla. It could be
Valhalla. I think it's Valhalla. Yeah.
Valhalla.
Yeah.
Sure,
yeah. I played this game for the Wii U, and when I saw it was coming out for the Switch, I was excited. I was happy because it was a pretty fun game from what I can remember. So I'm interested.
Yeah, I remember
to hear.
You talked about it on the old podcast when it came out for Wii U.
Yeah, that isn't it funny? I mean, now that the podcast is what, I guess a year and a half, a little over a year and a half, pushing almost 2 years. It's crazy to think.
Yep.
Think of all the games like that we played and talked about on the podcast. Is crazy, but yeah, tell me your times with Jotun.
Yeah, Jotun. Is that how it's pronounced?
I don't know if it's Jotun or Jotun.
I'm gonna call it Jotun from now.
Jotun Valhalla.
That's great.
Edition.
Edition.
Must be.
Yeah. So what this game is a top-down action adventure game, like not unlike, I should say, old school top-down Zelda games. One of the big hooks in this game is that there's a really dynamic camera that moves in and out, so you will just stumble upon this boss and it's 200 times the size of you, and you just become this little dot on the screen. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, you can still see, but it's like, whoa.
They want to show you how minuscule you are, or how beautiful some of the environments are.
Yes, that's a big part of it too, right? Not just the big Jotun that you.
I think it might be Jotun.
Is it? I think. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard it.
I was gonna say. Tweet in on us with the right pronunciation, but then I just imagined a bunch of tweets that just it was literally just like Jotun, like duh, it's Jotun, but you wouldn't be able to tell because it was a text together.
I get you. Yeah, that's funny. Let's move on.
So funny, I forgot to laugh.
So yeah, you know it's funny when I say it's funny. So you have. It's just big open areas, and you're walking around, and yes, like you mentioned, beautiful areas, beautiful hand-drawn like animation, and it takes place in this like Norse mythological inspired land, and it's kind of like space. It's kind of like, honestly, it's like Thor, like the first original Thor movie, very similar to like that, like in the space galaxy, but like also like Norwegian.
Yeah, it's got like the whole Viking flair throughout, right?
Yeah, and you play as this girl Viking Thora, and the story's kind of, I mean, it's kind of cool and slash kind of funny. I mean, if you think about it, but
it's sort of depressing.
Like she's like a mighty warrior who dies like at sea. Like just drowns. So she dies. What would you call that?
An embarrassing
dishonorably, or whatever. It's embarrassing. So she wants. So the gods let her go back. If she can go back and kill all of the Jotun, then she can have an honorable death.
Yeah, I think.
You know.
Yeah, because what is it, like her soul? Like you said, it's unhonorable. So she's sort of like a wandering soul, maybe, or something to that extent. But yeah.
Yeah. So and that's in it. So you have this big open space, and there's all these areas that you. I mean, like there's a central hub, and there's a bunch of areas that you can go to, and just kind of you unlock like different new powers. Like different gods will give you new powers. that you can use in battle. But then everything is just kind of like there's like puzzles and there's in different places. Everything's different. Like for instance, one of the first places is that I went to. It's this. You're in the stars and you have to make these shapes out of constellations basically, and by smacking them with your sword, and then you're making these like, like connect the dots pictures to match what you see in the sky. And you know what? I mean, it's just they never got hard. The only thing that gets really hard is like they introduce, if you touch the lightning, it will zap you, and if you touch and then there's also lightning striking around you. So the hard thing is just not dying while you're doing it instead of like the actual puzzle.
Yeah. There's just a bunch of stuff you got to sort of monitor while doing the puzzle. Yeah.
And then, so that's one section. And then you get like Thor's hammer in this place. And this is like, then you have, it just adds new specials to your arsenal. So now you can have this hammer that just lays the smack down. Like huge hammer, kind of like from Zelda, right? Like there's like the huge hammer from Zelda, or I'm trying to think of what game that has I'm thinking the DS Zeldas. You get that hammer that's like huge and you can smack down anyway.
Oh yeah, I was also, wasn't it Twilight Princess when you get that like unbelievably huge mallet?
Yeah, I think so.
I think, like, even Ocarina of Time also has, like, a big mallet, too.
Yeah. Or any anime Japanese game with their huge swords.
They got a thing for big hammers, I guess.
Yep. And, but also, like, I should have mentioned Thor, the normal thing is, like, she has, like, a normal axe attack, and then you can also do a charged attack. It does more damage. So, anyway, you're making your way through all these things, and there's lots of boss fights that are big and bold, and those are definitely the best part of the game, are the big, huge Jotun, or Jotun, I'm just going to say both from now on, battles.
Jotun?
Yeah, Jotun. Jotun battles. And, I'm reviewing it for the site, and my review should be up, or almost up. Actually, it won't be up on this post, but it almost. It's not a bad game. It's just it was just kind of dull to me. Just in between, like all of the spaces are empty. There's not tons of enemies. Sometimes there is, but that's a not a really common thing. All of the it's just, like, for instance, I did this section, and I left, and it says, you can keep exploring or go back to here. So I was like, okay, I'll go back to here. I transported back to this hub, and then I decided, well, maybe I missed something. So I went back to the place, and I had to do everything that I just did again.
Yeah, that sort of sucks.
Like it wasn't that, and then it ended up I had nothing else there.
Oh, I was gonna say at that point I probably would have been like, well, whatever I was could have potentially got is probably not worth it.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, it was like what 10 minutes of my time again. So, but other than that, it's just not like a very crazy. Like, I've played this before. There's nothing really special at all about it, besides the big battles, which are fun. So, I would check out my review if this sounds like something if up your alley. But otherwise, that's Jotun Valhalla Edition.
Jotun.
Now, I know that we've been reviewing more things. You have, and you've been working your tail off.
My keister.
Your keister. Your fractured keister.
Yep. Nice. That was a good one. Yeah. So, I got this game for review on Thursday, and I was done with it by Monday. Well, really more like
You're
Sunday night. I did the video on Monday. Oh, and that is...
I got two things to say to you. You don't have diabetes and you're a sick man.
Yes, I am a sick man. Just like most of the humor in this game, and that is South Park: The Fractured Butt Hole. Yes, this, of course, I'm sure most people who play video games have an idea that that South Park has released a number now, 2 RPGs, and they're actually pretty darn good for licensed games. You know, obviously that's sort of somewhere along the line they went from being real good back in the day to like just crap, and now I guess it's sort of on an upswing. You know, South Park, and I can think of like the Batman games and stuff. Where you can actually take an existing property and make some good games out of it. But this game now is an RPG, and it's different. But I'll start with the story. So you get in there, and you are the new kid in town, and it actually sort of picks up where I would assume A Stick of Truth. For notes, I have not played that game. But obviously, A Stick of Truth, it was more like the Wizards, and I think more of like a Lord of the Rings parody. And this game, so you start out actually playing like you're the king, and you know they're all going around in their you know medieval costumes and stuff. But eventually, it gets to the point where it's like, well, this game sucks, you know, let's switch, and they do the whole superhero thing. So the idea is that you join Coon and Friends, which is Cartman and his ragtag crew of superheroes, and the game plan is they're trying to make their superhero franchise big and popular, so therefore they can sell it and, you know, make movies and have spin-offs and all this. So there's a missing cat, and the reward's $100. So the idea is like, we need to find this cat so we can get $100 so we can boost our popularity and notoriety for Coon and Friends. And that's sort of the idea of the game, and you go off and do that. And of course...
That's the whole game, finding the cat?
Like, that's the game plan, right? But of course, as South Park is... have you ever really watched any South Park?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. No.
Okay, so it is just... I mean, honestly, just ridiculous. It's usually
I've
like
heard much about it.
Yeah, there's usually now I don't want to like a lapsed fan, but it's like I don't watch South Park really, but anytime I do watch it, I usually enjoy it, and I used to watch it, you know, back in the day more religiously. So I've had a fall off as far as, you know, any of the new seasons, but it's just ridiculous. So most of the time, like, they're like, what's going on here? And like, you don't really know why things are happening, and then all of a sudden it all sort of comes into focus, and like, you know, it's all sort of half-ass backwards, like how did you get here and there, and you know, it's just like a lot of toilet humor and lowbrow stuff like that, but then they also poke fun at like serious topics and stuff, you know,
right?
And
right.
like, so it's really like the show is really fantastic, or at least, you know, from all accounts, when I watched it, it was really fantastic.
Like, not for people who get easily offended.
Yeah, no, this is definitely going to be something you probably don't want little children to play. And yeah, if you don't like that kind of humor and vulgarness, you're probably not going to like this game.
Probably say you don't want little children to play.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You said probably.
Oh, I thought I said you probably don't want little children to play, or maybe I said you don't probably want children to play. Maybe I.
No, I was just saying I don't think there's a probably about it.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Well, it's yeah. But anyway, so the story, like I said, it's crazy. So that's sort of the gist that sort of sends you on your way, and then, you know, all of a sudden you find out all these other factions are involved in this big crime ring and stuff, and like you've got the 6th graders, you've got the cops, you've got like chefs, you know, like there's all sorts of different like groups.
6th graders, the cops.
Well, yeah, they're because you're 4th graders, right? So like the 6th graders are the big bad kids, you know, and yeah, so it's like they're the ones you start fighting out with, but then all of a sudden you're like fighting the Raisins girls, which is it's like Hooters, but it's called Raisins, and they're little girls who work there, you know?
That's so weird.
So yeah, like, and like you fight a bunch of Raisins girls, like they always try to beat you up and stuff. But Yeah, so as far as the combat goes, it's an RPG. It is turn-based, but it's not like you're not stationary. You don't get into a battle and then, just pick your items and go, or your, actions and go. It's a grid-based, and it varies from battle to battle. So some are smaller, like the earlier ones that are more instructional, like you start off on like a 3x3 grid, and it's like, okay, this is sort of how you work. But then when you get deeper into the game, like there are much bigger grids, like it's never too big. Like it's not like a Fire Emblem big, but like, you might get to like a 8x5 grid, so it's a little longer.
Okay.
And you're going to move throughout this grid, and that's pretty important because a lot of the moves are actually pretty dependent on positioning. So for instance, a lot of the attacks you can only do, left and right. So you need to be in that same row as that person generally to attack them. But there are characters with skills that can either shoot in like a more circle radius around them or like some diagonal attacks. But there's also knockback, and that is pretty important because you can knock enemies into other enemies.
Knockback.
Yeah, unless if you're knocking them back.
That's true.
But when you hit an enemy into another enemy, it does some extra damage. Or you can position to sort of be on both sides of one enemy and have an enemy, like, smack that enemy into your friend, and then your friend's going to hit them with another attack. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's fun to mess with the positioning, and there's a bunch of different classes, so all of the characters you get play pretty differently, have different abilities and stuff. Some are more healing or support heavy, some are more melee up close, and then you got your casters. And what's cool is actually, as you progress, you start out picking one class, but then you have the option of sort of mixing and matching with other classes. So for any given character, you have 3 attacks and then like an ultimate attack when you just doing damage and or taking damage, whatever. Your bar fills up, and when that hits, you can use your special attack. But the other 3 attacks, you could use pretty much any turn. Some have like a 1-turn cooldown. But what's fun is you can mix and match from different classes, so you could sort of construct how you want that character to play. You can have, I like being back far, but I want to deal damage. So you could grab sort of a couple different ranged attacks from different classes to sort of make a character that you feel good using, And you could change that at any time during the game. Once you hit a certain point, pretty early on, you can go and change your class whenever you want by just going to the Coon's lair and switching it. Now, what's cool is in the battles also is they actually have some action commands. Obviously, if you are familiar with Mario and Luigi or the Paper Mario series, you have an idea of what these are. And, when you're doing an attack, they have action commands to give you a little extra damage. Or if you're getting hit, you can sort of hit an action command and regain a little bit of that damage back.
Oh, man, I love action commands.
Yeah, me too. I love that it just keeps, I don't mind straight up turn-based combat, but I do love being a little bit more engaged, so this way I'm not, looking at the TV while I'm playing and just sort of zoning out. You have to pay a little more attention. And I should say, the battles in this game, they're not, I don't want to say they're long or drawn out or anything, but they're not short. It's not like I got a random encounter, I blasted through them in 30 seconds and I move on. Like, there's a little bit of, moving around, and each battle takes a little bit of time.
You just reminded me of Mario and Luigi Dream Team, and I don't know if you remember, but Luigi's like it takes place like in his dreams, and like when you're playing in his dreams, like when you encounter a random enemy, there's a point in the game where just like a 1,000 Luigis just trample on everyone.
I've had enough.
So you start the match, and then just 1,000 Luigis come down and just take out everyone on the screen, and then it's like, you're done. So you don't even do anything.
Yep. All right, I'll take it.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah, so battles they're sparse, but I think that does a good job of sort of keeping it feeling good. And usually when I saw a battle, I wouldn't shy away. I'd jump in there and attack. So I enjoyed the battle system. Now, what's cool is you gain experience by doing battles as well as doing quests throughout the world, but you level up, and you don't level up all that often. I think, I think the cap is 15, level 15. But yeah, it's like, I think I'm like 11 or 12 around the end of the game there. So it's like, you don't have to go all the way to the cap.
Oh, wow.
But as you level up, your stats don't boost, right? You don't like, 3 strength, 2 magic, 1 health,
so what do?
You unlock something called an artifact slot. So you open up these slots, and then you can attach artifacts, and then those are what gives you boosts to all your stats. And then obviously, depending on what kind of character you are, you can sort of tailor which artifacts you're going to use. Obviously,
can you
what's up?
Switch them on the fly?
Yeah, I mean, not in battle, but like if you're out of battle, you can press start and go to the artifacts menu pretty easily.
So they're not permanent like upgrades.
No.
Like you can switch them out.
They're almost like items. Like instead of equipping like pants, a shirt, a shield, a sword, you're equipping these artifacts, and
I love that idea.
So
then it's like this isn't I'm putting my strengths in a different feature where I can maybe if I want to try something different, like you can go back and change.
Yeah, I mean,
have a different approach. I mean, or no, does that not really happen?
Yeah, I mean, you can. I mean, I generally found it where just like, oh well, this one's better and it gives more, But like, you could keep an eye out for one that would give more physical attack or more, like they call it mind for like a caster, and so you could sort of tailor and try and find artifacts that more benefit what your character's trying to go for. But like, yeah, I wasn't like I was in between battles, like, oh, I think this one will actually work better in this situation. Mm-hmm. But you go, and like I said, each level you sort of unlock. So you start out with a minor one, then you get a major one, and then I forget the name, but I think it's like an epic one, and like obviously the epic one are better artifacts, and when you equip the artifacts, they increase your might level. So essentially, that's sort of like your might level. So that sort of gives you an indication when you're looking at a quest to be like, oh, you should probably be about 300 might for this quest. And then,
gotcha.
So it sort of does a good job of like making sure you don't go somewhere and try and do something you might not be prepared for yet, But but yeah, I enjoyed the battle system. And then when you're not battling, you're exploring South Park, which is sort of a surreal feeling because it looks just like the game, like the TV show. Like in my review, I said, if someone had walked in and didn't see a controller, didn't know any better, they would imagine, like I'd imagine they'd be like, oh, this South Park's on. Like I wonder what episode. Like it very much looks like that. The characters are all voice acted. They it sounds it is South Park, It is very much South Park, and going to the elementary school or going to Raisins or going to these places you see in the show. It's sort of cool to have the agency of like, I'm moving around South Park,
No, I mean that's awesome. That's one of the things that I love about this game, is it's how impressive the transfer of the property is to the video game. It's there's not a lot that there's. In fact, I can't think of many of games that come from different, like from TV or from movies that are this close in resemblance and stuff.
Yeah, it really is pretty insane.
It's cool, yeah.
Now, the bad thing is that it doesn't run particularly great on the Switch, but I want to say that it doesn't overall affect. Like, I never ran into a point where any of these graphical issues or any of the slowdown, like, ruined the game for me, Or I was, like, in a bad, like... So, when you're going throughout South Park, there'd be time, I'm just moving fine, and then all of a sudden, like, you can notice a little bit, it getting a little choppy when you're sort of scrolling from left to right, and you're like, it's sort of annoying, Like, it just... It did a little bit to take it out, and then you run into some other parts in the game where it really was like, I was like, ooh, like,
yeah.
And like, I get it, like, the one instance, there's like a bunch of people, like tons of character models on the screen, and there's like, they're all partying, and I think fireworks are going off, so it's like, there was a lot going on, so get why it got some slowdown, but it was like
Yeah,
and it's
still disappointing.
Yeah, so it was a little disappointing. Like I said, luckily it was pretty much only when I was walking around South Park I experienced any slowdown. When I was in a battle, never once did I have any slowdown within combat, which is good. Like I thought that was nice. So it was
because then that would actually affect gameplay.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
like, you know, if you're doing like, you know, inputs and stuff. So
yeah, like with action commands or whatever. So
yeah,
no, I like I said, it's disappointing, but it's not the end of the world. Like it didn't ruin the game. There were some other little things with so when you do your ultimate, like a little cutscene comes up, right? And the one I had was pretty much like this big drone comes and just shoots a ton of machine guns, and then it shoots a rocket and blows up the enemies. And when it gets there, you hear it's like, and then all of a sudden, like that stops, and it's still shooting machine guns, and then all of a sudden, then you hear the bomb. So it's like, it's a little, you know, cut out, a little weird, you know,
janky.
And sometimes when transitioning in and out of cutscenes, just some weird visual, like it started for a second, there we go, you know, just. Mm-hmm. As I said, it just lacked a level of polish that I'd hoped would have been there, you know? Because otherwise, the game really is a blast. I really enjoyed it. I guess one last thing I want to talk about is your superpowers hero. Your hero's superpower. That's how you say that.
Before you go into that, I just want to ask: Do you know if it runs any better on the other systems? I mean, like, did you ever look into that? I'm just wondering.
I'm not sure. I think I remember.
I assume it would, right? But it's like.
I think I remember reading there was some some of those issues, but like they released some further patches that sort of helped alleviate it. But don't quote me on that.
Yeah, and I know that they did release like a 3 GB patch.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I saw that and I was like, I wonder if that affected like. Did that fix the issues I had a problem with? But then I remembered, I was like, oh, like when I originally downloaded the game, it was 17 gigs. So I must have downloaded that patch when I just downloaded the game, you know? Mm-hmm. So,
okay.
But yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so
anyway.
to wrap up on South Park, I just talk a little bit about your superhero. And it's comical because, again, they're trying to... They want to get this big franchise, and like Cartman's always talking about, like, oh, we do this, and then you'll get your spin-off then, you know, and they're obviously making fun of the whole superheroes and all that crap, right? And you sort of have like a rival superhero group and the Freedom Pals, and like they're trying to do it as well, you know, so it's like they're the rivals. But when you get in there, you're the new guy, right? So they're like, you need to come up with a backstory, you know, and you pick it up when you pick your class, and they're like, oh, you're just a child, and you're sleeping in your bed, and then you hear something from the hallway, and there's an intruder, you know, and then you go and you fight him, and then and that's sort of showing off the moves, and then your superhero's power is like his farting, and his as I put it, his rectal abilities. So you can actually pause time with farting. You can rewind time. And then you get these, like, I call them, they're like field skills a little bit. You unlock them through some side quests, and then you need them to sort of traverse the area. Like, oh, you can't get up there, but now that you have that ability, you can, you know? And it's like parkour, right? That's how you say it? Mm-hmm. They call it fartcore. And, like, the guy jumps on your back, and then you fartcore, you like press a button, and your farts sort of propel you to a different area. And there's one where you run into, okay, that door's locked, but there's like a little panel up there with some wires, and that's that's the device that's keeping the door locked, right? So you need to you befriend Butters, which is a character, and he sticks a hamster up your butt, and then you fire the hamster out with the power of a big fart, and then he hits the wires, then he bites the wires, and then the door unlocked. So it's so stupid, you know, like, but that's the kind of humor that is really present throughout. So if that isn't your cup of tea, you know what I mean? Like, stay away from South Park. But yeah, no, like I said, outside some graphical issues and some load times, I should say I forgot to mention that there's some uneven load times throughout. some of them are pretty quick, but then every once in a while, like, and I couldn't put any rhyme or reason to why some were longer than others, but it would just be a while, and you're like, But I think even with the issues present, I still think it is a good enough game to go check out and give it a play.
All right, yeah.
And yeah, of course, you can check out the written review as well as a video review on Nintendo World Report and Nintendo World Report TV on YouTube.
Giddy up.
But this next game, it's sort of like a TV show.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about this next show. I teased it a couple weeks back during the eShop Roundup, and that is The Bunker. So, The Bunker is an FMV video game. Do you know what that means?
I do, but why don't you explain it to me as if I didn't?
Okay. FMV, I believe, stands for full motion video, I think. Is that what it
Sounds
is?
good.
I think.
You're doing the
Anyway.
explaining, not me, Bobby.
And so what this is it's... Okay, honestly, the best way I could put it is it's an adventure game. It's like the Tales games. Is that what they're called?
Oh, like the Telltale?
Telltale games, but with actual, like, with real cameras, like not.
Yeah, it's like video clips, right?
Yeah, and it's like an interactive movie, you know, and so it's amazing. Like I could not believe the production quality of this game. Like I don't know what I was expecting, but like when I think of stuff, I think of like the cheesy, like old, like what is it called, Night Trap or whatever.
Oh, yep.
You know, like stuff.
Yeah,
like,
super
it's just-
cheesebo.
is bad, you know, and just like video games and not really, you know, with a real good direction or production and stuff. But then I get to The Bunker and it's this, I mean, just gorgeous cinematography and like the HD, I mean, everything runs like so well, you know. It's kind of weird. It's like I remember when I got 1-2 Switch and playing that, and it's like it's weird playing a video game with like it looks like a Blu-ray and like you're playing like a movie. It's a weird feeling. I don't know. Maybe because it's just not all the time. But yeah. So The Bunker, what it is it's an adventure game, played, and you decide things, you know. But you're basically just going through a story. It's about, I want to say 2 to 2.5 to 3 hours. I think I
So nice and
finished it in
brisk.
2.5 hours. Yeah. It's not a long game. Game in quotes. What it is you're this guy. I'm not gonna spoil anything here because I really think it's cool and worth it. But it just takes place in a bunker in England, and a nuclear. And you're this guy, and you have to go through. It's like I don't even want to explain.
It sounds like what's the second Cloverfield movie?
Yes, it's very similar to Cloverfield Lane.
That's it.
Yes,
I was trying to think if there was
Absolutely.
a number before. I was like 21 Cloverfield Lane.
21 Jump Street. No, I think it is. There is a number. I can't think of it though. Is it 11?
I mean, I guess I could look real quick.
What
Yeah,
is that?
10 Cloverfield Lane. Okay.
Oh, it's 10. All right. The sequel
With one of the greatest actors of all time, John Goodman.
Yeah, John Goodman.
I love
you
that
said
man.
That before, and I forgot what you said before. Oh, you said John Newman.
Old Newman.
John Newman. Anyway, very similar to that game. Yeah, to that movie. This game is so. You make decisions. The beginning of it is really slow. Like almost like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it through this. You know, it's kind of that thing. So it's a slow start, but honestly, I was going through because I love, I love character development. I love, like really having just breathing. Like I hate in movies and TV shows where they rush stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why. And I know you haven't watched right? You haven't seen Breaking Bad.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, man, I can't believe you haven't seen that. It's
good development.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just top of, like, probably the best development ever. And so it's just like, because a big part of that of Breaking Bad is like, letting the characters just act out and you get to see who they are. And there's just a lot of empty and dull shots, but they're not dull. I just mean that there's nothing happening, but it just gives it time to sink in and stuff. And
lets it marinate a little bit.
I really like that. Yeah, I really like that. And so game's kind of like that, and the controls for like making decisions. There are some like real time events. That's what they're called, right?
Yeah.
Quick time events.
Same crap.
Yeah, whatever. And so sometimes like if you don't do something, like your character will die, or something will die, and then you have to redo it, going back a few minutes. I don't know. I think it was kind of...
Oh, a few minutes?
I like the idea.
Not even like before?
Yeah, sometimes it'll be like a minute or two.
Because I know, most games usually... And I guess it's sort of... I mean, I guess restarting you literally right before the scene is sort of dumb too, because then it's like, well, then we might as well just get rid of it. But that would be frustrating. Because, like, God forbid you just messed up again,
It's a little frustrating, but... Like, for instance, okay, so the way, if I'm playing, I'm sure you can play it on your touchscreen, because I feel like this is ported, I mean, it's definitely ported for mobile, and it's made for a touchscreen. So it's like, but the way they just map it to the control stick, and you just got to move your control stick around the screen and press A on stuff.
So it's like a mouse almost a little bit?
Yes. And if you're going to like turn a handle or like slide, if you're going to slide like a door open, then like you go and you press on the button and then you hold it and then push right with your control stick, like just like a swipe. It's like mapping a swipe.
Yeah.
And it's just it doesn't feel that good. And like like events, you'll have to hurry up and like put your cursor in the middle to find that point and press A in time. Otherwise, something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But if you are paying attention, then it shouldn't be a problem at all. It happened like twice, I think, the whole time where I missed it, because I wasn't really like I was maybe talking to Jill or something real quick. Anyway, Jill and I both played it and we really enjoyed it, and I'm really glad I played through the bunker. And yeah, you're going to be hearing more about another game from the same people probably next week.
Ooh. So, is it another in the same elk?
Yeah. Yep. And actually, Justination said it's a lot better.
Oh, that's really good to hear then.
Apparently, like, the story's really good, and it's a lot more brisk. It doesn't have those sections like I just talked about. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later. Because who knows? He might just be lying, that big Jim.
Yeah, he just wanted to... Misery loves company, so maybe he just needs some other people to commiserate with. But you know what? Justin has never led me astray. He every game he's ever recommended to me, I've generally enjoyed. Except for... I think he might have suggested Judge for me, but that might have also been just based off of how good the other games are, and I just happened to get the clinker, or the clunker, I guess you would say.
Yep. But let's move on to our last and final quote game. I'll save my other game for next week, because this is a big release that just happened. Yeah,
and I mean, I guess just get right into it. And I've been playing, quote unquote, more so constructing the old Labo Variety Kit. You been dabbling?
Yep, I've been dabbling. I've only made the motorcycle though.
Yes, all right, so like we sort of hinted to my craziness going on last week or so. I've been playing a lot of South Park and a lot of stuff going on, so I haven't gotten to mess with Labo as much as I've wanted to, but I'll actually going to be starting to play a lot more of it tomorrow, which I won't get to talk till next episode, but I actually did a live stream with Caitlin the other day, and I know we had some people stop by.
On launch day.
Yes, sir. Yep, on old 420. And, so, when you first fire it up, it pretty much suggests like, hey, why don't you start out with the RC car, just so you can sort of get the lay of the land, you know, as far as how the software shows you how to construct it, because it actually, you can, on the game, it shows you every single step you need to take and gives you the ability to slide the camera left, right,
the best
up, down.
directions I've ever seen. Ever.
Yeah, it really is amazing. It lets you zoom in, zoom out, you know, fast forward, rewind. It's really makes it really nice and simple for you.
Oh yeah, and I did it with the Pro controller. I didn't even use the touch controls because I had it on the TV.
Oh yeah, me too. You know, it's really easy and intuitive on the screen, which is nice. But so when you get into the RC car, it's really, really simple. I think it's just one piece. Maybe, yeah, I think it was just one piece.
Yeah, actually, to be honest.
Oh, they're super easy. It's literally, I think it's one piece and a couple folds here and there. It might be two pieces, but it's actually really cool because what you do is you build it. Like I said, that one's really simple to build. Like, you could pop that together in 5 minutes, not even. And what you do is you slide the Joy-Cons in the sides, and then with the... I was using the Pro controller, but presumably you could use the Switch itself, and they actually have like a cute little piece of cardboard that attaches to the top of the Switch to make it look like it's an antenna to shoot out towards the beams, you know?
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, it's a little cute that way. And but I was using the Pro controller, and you just use L and LZ or R and RZ, and that's your two controls, right? And one buzzes the right Joy-Con, one buzzes the left, and it just shimmy shakes along the table there. And what's cool is, and what's really surprising is that the little, on the right Joy-Con, the IR camera actually works for thermo imaging. So it gives you a POV from your RC car on screen.
That is so cool.
Because we're playing around, right? We're tinkering around with it, and we're like, oh man, okay, this is cool. It's moving around, like, oh, and we're like, wait, what is that? And I put Chibi Robo amiibo on the table. It's like, we're like, is that Chibi Robo? And like, you know, we drove up to it, and sure enough, you see like a Chibi Robo there. And then all of a sudden, you go over to my cup of coffee, and you can see the heat coming from the coffee, you know.
What in the heck?
Yeah, it sort of blew my mind. I was like, this is amazing. And
you mean to tell me that the whole time I've been playing Switch, Nintendo's been spying on my body heats?
Yeah, boh! They know what you've been doing. But
they know if you're hot.
Boh. But yeah, I was actually really surprised. I was like, that's really, really cool. And then
what a great idea.
So that's cool, right? And then Caitlin made the second RC car, and then there's actually a mode where you like press the little button, and then all of a sudden there's a countdown, some music go, and you run into each other, and the first one to tip over, all of a sudden like a little explosion goes off, and the other person won. So it's actually cool to have like little battle bots almost.
That is awesome.
And now
Talk Nintendo Challenge.
Yeah, that would actually be cool. You'd have to fly, or I'd have to fly out there.
Yep.
I was trying to think of there's some. Yeah. My flight leaves in 20 minutes. Let's get this thing done.
Let's go. Oh no, my battery's dead.
But I should note that again, these, at least in my experience, and I'm going to get into the fishing rod in just a second. The games themselves are pretty small experiences. Like the RC car, while to see that and see little, you know, camera from within the RC car, really, really cool. But it's like, I don't know how much I'm going to go back to something like that. Probably not often. We did decorate our little cars, which are pretty cool too. But then getting on to the big boy, the fishing rod, this now took us quite some time to construct. Probably like close to an hour, I would imagine.
I was watching your stream, and you're like, man, they weren't kidding about that 90 minutes.
Yeah, I thought it was like if you're, you know, a young child,
baby,
and, you know, or,
minutes.
you know, whatever. But no.
That was an actual Casey Gibson time.
It's like they knew somehow. But yeah, so you get in there.
They've been studying your body heat.
My body heat. Looks like he's good for about 90 minutes. But yeah, so you start putting the pole together, and the first part's just like a part of the actual rod, and you're like, okay, you build a couple of rods. Then it's like, I was like, oh man, look at that, we got all 3 rods together. And then it's like, that was part 1 of 5. And I'm like, oh yeah. Dang, man, like, okay, let's.
I know that happened to me. Yep, with the motorcycle. Like, it was like 45 minutes in. It's like, all right, we got like these 2 things. It's like, you're halfway done.
Yeah, it's like,
what?
Dang, man. But yeah, so you go on, you build the rod and the reel and the little base for where the switch rests. But it's just really cool how it all comes together, because like, so we start making the actual reel, and I'm like, oh, this is sort of not it's a little loose. I'm like, I don't know, but then I'm like, it's probably all come together once you get the other parts there, and then you start to see how it all comes together. And in the reel, there's rubber bands and stuff. So when you actually, like, now that it's all completed, you actually feel like it's not resistance, but like you feel like it's a little bit of, like, this feels like I'm fishing a little bit, like it has that feel to it.
Yeah.
And what's cool is like they even have like a little it's just like a little tab of cardboard you stick into the reel, and then it makes that like
that sound.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it was really cool just to see how it all came together. And then obviously the fishing game is definitely deeper than RC Car. You pretty much you don't actually cast. You just sort of reel down, and your fish hook drops into the water. And then, in the top layer, there's some easier and smaller fish to catch. And you keep climbing down, and they get bigger and a little more difficult. And then you get to a part where it's like it gets really dark, and you just see shadows, And like those are the really, like, sharks are down there, huge stingrays and stuff, marlins. So it's like those are the hard ones to catch. So what's cool is it's got that progression where it's like, we've got the nice easy things you could do, but it's also like if you do want to do a challenging thing, you can go all the way down to the bottom and try and catch a shark or something. And once you hook them, you reel it up, and then it's a little bit of a tug of war game. You all right, I'm reeling in. Oh, now he's resisting. Let me give him a little line to sort of wait till he calms down. Then, so on and so forth. But it's a fun little game. Again, I don't know how much it's going to be going back to fishing all the time. That one I could see myself playing more than, like I said, the RC cars. But more so, I think the appeal for me so far with Labo is just the construction part. The cardboard itself it's thick. It's pretty strong cardboard. Like, I know there are definitely people.
You think I don't know. It's not thick. I don't know why everyone keeps saying that.
It's strong. I should say it's not.
It's strong. It's not thick though. It's thin.
Yeah, maybe wrong use of words.
Oh, wait a second. These are like thin cardboard pieces, because everyone was saying like it's really strong quality, which it is, but it's like these are really thin pieces of cardboard.
Yeah, no, a slip of the tongue, if you will. But yeah, they're sturdy. So I know a lot of people were worried about like, oh well, it's gonna break. And sure, if you have little kids, I can absolutely see them being a little rough and tumble with it. But as long as you're not, being willy-nilly and just tossing them wherever, I don't see a real problem of, oh my Labo broke and now I'm screwed out of that.
Right, but I mean this is for kids, so it's like
well.
It is interesting, right? I mean, because like like David was like, "There's no way," with his kids, like they'd have them torn up in 2 seconds. So I it's something I really wonder about this, because like it's for kids, but I feel like it's almost the worst. Like just it's almost the worst for kids in that sense for destroying it.
Not for Nintendo's wallets.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, I think that the like you said, definitely it was a lot of fun making the motorbike thing. The game with it is pretty good, and it feels great. I mean, you get this, you plug in your Switch there in the middle, and you actually the Joy-Cons are on each side, and it's pretty impressive actually. Like, it feels great. Build quality on it feels pretty good. There is one section that because like the way you play them. Have you done it yet? The motorbike?
No, not yet.
Yeah, it's good. You should do it for sure. you push it against your stomach, like you're holding it so that way you can like stand up or sit up like a bike, because like and so the piece that touches your stomach, it's like kind of loose, and didn't feel that like it was like I felt like it was gonna break. It was kind of weird, but anyway, so yeah, I think it's interesting. I think what a fun. I mean, is there anything more satisfying than like pushing out those pieces of cardboard from the sound and like the feeling of like, oh, I had so much fun just pushing out the cardboard pieces.
Dude, even the sound design within the software with like with the folding noises and it really is. Nintendo always does such a good job of nailing like just audio design on little things like that.
Yes, and again, this is the type of thing when putting it together with Jill, I was just like, if anyone wonders why I love Nintendo, it's this right here. Like, this is the essence of Nintendo, the toy company. Like, you know, the idea, like, they're always pushing the envelope, always wanting to do something different. Always. You know, they're always doing that. Like, they're unlike any other you know.
Well, that's, I mean, the age-old, you know, where Sony and Microsoft generally are like, hey, we're just going to make it a stronger, beefier system. Nintendo always likes to give that fun, intuitive, or, you know, innovative, I should say, touch to it.
Even going back to the first NES, like with Rob, you know, when it was
old Rob
introduced, like they should definitely make a Rob Labo. That makes so much sense.
That would be really cool. I mean, I guess maybe the robot kit is a really big, strange-looking Rob. Can you imagine making life-sized Rob Labo?
Oh man, I'd buy it.
Yeah, I probably would too.
Yeah, but couldn't you see them doing a Labo with that and then having the actual game from like the original, like where he picks up stuff?
Oh, that would be so cool.
They could probably do that with Labo somehow. So
yeah,
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to be building the house and some more of the Labo kits.
Yep. I'll build the piano by next week. So
yeah, so we'll our Labo coverage is not over yet. We'll definitely be talking about that more.
Our Labo's not done-o.
And on that note, you know, it is done-o, what we've been playing. So why don't we take a quick little breather, and then, honestly, this might be the most brisk eShop news segment we've got coming up here. But it should be good. It should be good.
All right. All right, welcome back to the eShop Roundup.
The eShop Roundup. Yeehaw.
Yes, we're getting right into it here, and we're starting with... Oh, wait, if you don't know what this is, we're going to run through the stuff that came out on the eShop on the Switch this past week.
If you don't know what it is, get with the program.
Starting with Party Trivia for $9.99. Now, I know you hear a name Party Trivia, and you wonder what kind of game this is.
Well, you know, if guessing Neo Geo games have taught me anything, I'd say it's either a fighting game or maybe a beat 'em up.
Now, it's funny, the description under this just says plain and simple, the multiplayer trivia game. So that's all you need to know.
Sounds good to me.
But next up, what do we have?
Whew! We didn't have to wait long this week to find out it is indeed a week. Oh wait, no! Oh Lord, Jimmy Lord! I saw Neo and I thought we were talking Neo Geo. You guys, you can see where my heart lies. But sorry,
Jimmy Lord.
Neo Atlas 1469 for a big old price of $49.99.
Now this the manifestation of all sailors' fears, the Sea Apostle. Thank you, Antonio Gomez.
Now this looks like I guess almost like a Civilization type of game, a sim game like that. Looks like, I mean, interacting with Antonio, obviously we got here. We also have Francisco.
Yeah, the choice means everything in this new world exploration simulation. So it takes place in the 15th century Europe. It's $50. Doesn't look that good, like graphics wise.
Don't judge a book by its cover, Bobby.
Yeah, it's the only
You
way
know
to
what?
judge it.
I
All
guess
right,
so.
but next up, we have skee ball. Now, you know when you go and you spend $20 at the carnival to play skee ball?
Can't say I do.
Me either, but now you can do it at home on the Switch. It's skee ball, $19.99.
Yeah, it seems
officially
like,
licensed, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's officially a licensed skee ball arcade game. So I didn't realize that was a...
I mean, it just seems like a high price point for what it is.
skee-ball.
But, you know, I guess that's that. Next up here is a game we talked about last week, and that is
It does not have a high
Ninja
price.
Striker
Yeah, Ninja Striker.
for
Yep.
a wonderful price of $3.99. I
This
really...
is an absolute must-buy, I think.
yeah,
For that
I mean...
price.
Yeah, for $3.99, I don't think you're gonna find a much better game for $3.99. Like
Yeah, it's great.
I think it's really fun. It's definitely worth checking out.
Yep.
Now, whew,
Now you can.
Now
can say
Jimmy's
what you need
back.
to say. This has the best name ever for a Neo Geo game. Real Bout Fatal Fury Special. $7.99. It's a fighting game. It looks like every other fighting game. Except for this one
they
has
really-
a reversal.
they really love them some fighting games.
And
Those
how
Neo
many
Geos.
Neo Geo fighting games can there be, Casey?
I mean,
How
I
many?
guess in the 80s and 90s, man, it's like, what games did people want to play in the arcade? I guess, you know, it's like you wanted to be that next
Corn.
fighting game, but.
Yep.
Yeah. Next up here, we've got BAFL, or Breaks Are for Losers, another game we talked about last week, for $4.99.
That's right. It's
Yeah.
a top-down racer. It's pretty cheap. If you want to hear more about it, go to last week's episode. Next up, we have Manticore: Galaxy on Fire. This is where you fight aliens and space pirates in the #1 sci-fi action shooter.
It's a tall claim, but
You know,
I tell
I'm
you
looking
what,
at the screens. They look
Yeah,
pretty sweet.
I was gonna say it looks pretty cool.
Wow. I think,
Yeah.
I think John Reardon reviewed this on the old website, and I think I know why he did, because it looks like Star Fox.
Yeah, like a really badass Star Fox.
Yeah, it looks great. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what he thought about that game, because it actually, like I said, surprisingly
He
looks.
gave it a good score. So
Yeah, make sure.
yeah, I'm interested in this game.
Good stuff, good stuff. Now,
Yep.
moving along, we've got The Way Remastered.
Yep. And how much does this cost?
This clocks in at $14.99.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the sweet spot for the Switch. It seems like that's
Yep.
where a lot of these games are sort of falling into.
Yep.
Now, this is a puzz form, isn't it, of some sort?
Yep.
Yep, there-
And it has some gorgeous
Pixel
pixel
art.
art.
Yeah, the sprites are
different
cool.
looking. Like it's it's not like your it's very Western,
Yeah.
Western pixel art is how I would explain that. It's not very Japanese inspired, so looks cool. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I was gonna say it actually looks really cool.
Yeah. So if that sounds cool to you, then think about it. Now, next up though, what do we have?
We got
We got
Firefighters,
a duo.
Airport Fire Department for $39.99, as well as. Now, is this a typo? Is this one just called Firefighter, the simulation?
No, this is a whole different game.
Well, no. Oh, okay. Okay, so they're not related at all.
No, well, no, they are the same company for sure.
Okay, so
But
then
they're completely
alright.
different games. Yep. So Firefighters Airport Fire Department, you're working on airports and you're, oh my goodness, do you see that? It's like a first person, like you're holding a hose, shooting it at fire flames in the things
I'm trying to.
at the airport. And then Firefighters the simulation says welcome to the to the professional fire brigade, and it looks like the same game.
Oh no!
looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the garage looks pretty similar, whether you're at the airport or the...
But if you have $80, you can pick up both these
games. Yeah, $39.99 a pop.
Yep.
You know what? People love their simulation games, so...
Yeah, this must be made by Farming Simulator people, because it has, like, the same logo and stuff. I just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they'll make a simulation about anything, man.
Now,
and it'll sell.
Casey. You know me, and I like to censor our podcast so the kids can listen. And we might have to censor out this next game.
Yeah, this game's not included on our weekly roundup.
Oh my goodness. Gal Gun 2 for $59.99. I just saw a trailer for this on Twitter. It is very, very weird and Japanese.
Yeah, Japanese most infamous shooter makes its long-awaited Nintendo Switch debut. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know much about this game, but from what I gather, it's actually a pretty fun game, and then like the gameplay is really fun, and then all of a sudden it's just like in between, it's like, whoop, totally going strange and
it's
and
weird.
Super like sexualized, right? Like that's like sort of its shtick.
Yep, it's weird.
Yeah,
so,
I think was Zach Miller on the review for the website?
Yep.
And I believe even he was weirded out.
Yep, even Zach.
And Zach loves those kind of games, so.
Yep.
But yeah, worth
anyway.
Worth checking out, I guess, or at least giving
$59.99
a YouTube video look up. Just don't do it at work.
Yep.
And
NSFW.
Now to wrap it up here is a game we obviously talked about just before. Another rated M game here, and that is South Park: The Fractured But Whole. And that clocks in at $59.99, or you can get the Gold Edition, which includes, I believe, all the DLC, which has not come out yet, for $89.99.
It's it's just your reminder that this isn't a Ubisoft game.
Yep. Yeah, well, it's what's it? It's 89. Yeah, cuz you could buy the season pass for $30. Although, look, I guess actually today some of the DLC came out.
Oh, cool.
Or all of it. Oh, that's lame. I thought they were going to be, like, rolling it out separately, but I guess,
right.
Yeah, 6...
Well, it's just, it was released at that time where it's not, like, old enough to be, like, Game of the Year.
Yeah,
but
it's in that window still. Nah, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Gotta make your money where you can.
That's right. But that'll do it, Casey, for our eShop Roundup.
But wait, that wasn't 20 million games.
Nope, that was only 11.
I want my money back. I paid for a full eShop Roundup.
Well, you're not getting it, and we're moving on to the news.
News Talk with Casey Gibson.
Yes, this is a pretty shorty too, but we've got some decent tidbits here. First off, some Bethesda news. Bethesda has come out and said they are pleased with Switch sales. Bethesda?
That's me. I've written in the notes. Anyway.
What are you talking about?
You changed it.
I know.
Pleased with Switch sales. They should be.
Yes. So that's a good sign, and they said they will continue to release more games in the future, quote, if Switch will support it, quote. So I guess, if they have some crazy graphically intense game. But honestly, it's like I would have considered Doom and Wolfenstein graphically intense games, and they've got them to work on the Switch. And I mean, obviously, I can only speak on the very limited Wolfenstein 2 I played running well, but Doom ran well too. So
Fallout 4 has to be coming, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised. 4 is the most recent.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
that has to be the E3, right? I'm sure that'll be announced at E3.
Yeah, that really seems like it'd make a good fit on the Switch, and people love Fallout.
Freaking Wolfenstein 2 is coming. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I guess would be different is how large of a world it is, but it's like Zelda did it, so...
That's true. I guess I don't know how big of it...
Yeah, it's like, I don't think Fallout 4 is... I mean, it's still a good-looking game, but yeah, it's like when they were making Fallout 4, were they trying to think of... we want to try and make it a smaller file size, I don't know how that would work out, but you know what?
We probably shouldn't compare Nintendo Zelda to Bethesda Fallout. It's not fair.
Yeah. But you know what? If there's a way for them to get it on the Switch, they're going to find out, or they're going to find a way because, like I said, that's a cash cow right there. So
absolutely. And speaking of their games coming to Switch, they have a release date for Wolfenstein 2.
Woo!
Finally.
Yes, June
29th.
Yes.
And I'm not getting it.
Why not?
Because of the stupid cover art.
Really? That's what's going to persuade. So are you going
to? I was on the fence, of getting it at launch, and I was like, nope, I'm not getting this disgusting look. I told you, I vowed to never get a box that has that awful art on it.
I'm going to mail it to you and be like, taint your walls with it.
Well, you could have that. I mean, you can mail it to me. I'm just not going to buy it.
No, I mean, for me, it'll probably be a game I buy on day one because I tell you what, I had an absolute blast playing it at PAX.
Yeah, it was fun.
I was really surprised at how much fun it was. I mean, I was excited for it, but yeah, I'm totally in for it. But you know what? Honestly,
Casey, you're supposed to stand by me with this.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Yes.
My Switch.
I'm calling in my chip.
My Switch cases, you only see the spines, so it doesn't matter what's on the cover.
My chip, my friend's chip.
You ain't got no friendship, Bobby. But what's cool is you could probably wait a couple of months and you probably get it for like $30. So
yeah, although I haven't really seen that for Doom.
Is Doom? You know what? I guess
I haven't. I just haven't been looking. I guess, but
yeah. But you know what? Maybe not $30, but like definitely 40 or 50. You know, you'll get it discounted.
Yeah.
Granted, I guess if you buy it from Amazon or Best Buy, you get it $52 or whatever it is. But anyway. Yep. This next news is much more up your alley, so why don't you let us know?
I wish I was playing this right now. I forgot. Stupid podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Splatoon 2 version 3.0 launching tonight.
Woo!
This introduces the X rank, which really has nothing to do with me because I'll never be in X rank. That's a rank above S and above S plus.
And what are you, hovering around the C area?
I don't play ranked mode. I really don't. I only play the league mode, with friends.
The league mode is the best.
By myself. Yeah. Which is weird that there's no rank in league mode, but anyway. But apparently over 100 pieces of new gear.
Ooh-wee.
Oh,
yeah, that's a sizable chunk.
Yes, but this is the best news ever, Casey. Oh, what I've been waiting for since Splatoon 2 came out. Camp Triggerfish is coming.
Ooh-wee.
Oh my goodness, dude. One of my favorite maps from the first game.
I'm trying to think which one that is.
That's the one.
I think I remember which one. Yeah, okay, yep. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah. You've seen it. It's
no,
amazing.
yeah, I knew I would have played it. I was just trying to... I'm so bad with names and stuff.
Yeah.
With everything, not just video games, so...
Me and Aaron had the best... I mean, we had this, foolproof system, seriously, with this level on Rainmaker.
Don't spoil it.
Because I had Seekers. Well, it's different now. So you start the level, and it's just like a race to get to the middle, right? And it's just a straight-on dash, so I have the Seekers that go straight forward. So it all run, and the whole secret is to get there first, explode the Rainmaker, and that usually takes out... I mean, if you're there first, that'll take out 1 or 2 people. And then you just take it, and then you just walk it up. It's a speed thing, and you just take it and walk it up the path to the left. And people are like, what? Huh? What? And then you sink it, and it's 30 seconds, and it's so fun. But it's just a great level overall. It changes depending on the mode, too.
Yeah, I was going to say my favorite with Rainmaker is just getting up there ASAP and then just launching a grenade over the bubble.
Oh, yeah, that was amazing.
I do that every time, and, usually... get a kill or something. The one time, dude, they must have all been huddled. I got all 4.
I know.
Yeah, remember that?
Amazing,
that game finished in 15 seconds. I felt like.
And I think that was and that was before they introduced the video capture. Oh,
yeah, that would have been an amazing clip. Because I think what I did was, I killed all 4 of them, and then I grabbed the Rainmaker, and then I killed 3 more on the way to the base. That was the all-time greatest game I ever played. Mm-hmm. But. Yeah, so good stuff.
Dude, I'm so excited.
And then we've got the Octo Octo expansion in a couple months before we know it. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Not as excited about that, but just because I still haven't played single player at all.
To
But
me, it's
I
more
will.
exciting just because of what it is. Like, single
Yeah, exactly.
single player DLC. Like, let's go, baby.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah.
then bring on the full-on open world Splatoon game. Splatoon 3.
Splatoon crossing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
Speaking of Splatoon crossing, our next little bit of news here cropped up. And it's funny because I believe you mentioned Night Trap before. I don't know if that's because you saw this tidbit or not, but Night Trap is coming to the Nintendo Switch via limited run games.
Even though Nintendo specifically said it would never be on a Nintendo platform.
Yeah, it's so funny because I know I've mentioned him before on here. The gaming historian, YouTube guy. He makes really great videos, and one of them is just sort of on the whole like controversy with violence in video games, this, that, and the other thing. And yeah, it wonderful. You should totally check it out. But yeah, they've got like a clip of Ron Howard. Ron Howard? Not Ron Howard.
No.
That's the guy from Happy Days, right?
Yeah.
God, I'm blanking on his name. Whatever lawyer Nintendo used. Yeah, like...
I'd like to think Ron Howard was Nintendo's lawyer.
Yeah, he's like, this Night Trap is bad news. But yeah, it's funny to see them talk about all that, and now it's coming to the Switch years later. And it's so funny because imagine if Night Trap was never brought up in that whole ordeal, how it probably would have just come and gone and no one would have ever remembered it. And now it's such a cultural phenomena, in the video game world that it's getting physical releases and all this 20 plus years later.
Yeah.
It's
The
sort of
game
crazy.
looks so weird and cheesy.
Well, now
in
that you
every
have your
way.
newfound love for the FMV games.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, limited run. I love them, but it's just like, can't we get a game that's like
Well, Flint
good?
Hook, and then obviously good old
Yes,
Slime
I
Son
did
coming.
Oh no, I know. I'm just.
I
saying
won't
it's
lie,
like-
I didn't pre-order Flint Hook.
You didn't?
Not yet. I'm on the fence. I really
What? I thought we were in this together.
trust me. I want
Calling
it. Yeah.
my chip.
I need my
My
enabler.
friend Chip.
I need the enabler.
I'm right here, buddy. Get it. Get it right
well,
now.
pre-orders close on May 7th, so I've got some time before. It's just one of
No.
those, like, I spent a bunch of money last week, and it's like, maybe I shouldn't.
No, I know what you're saying.
So, but,
But then think about that beautiful box art and how great it's gonna look.
And it's got the reversible cover.
And reversal, yeah. And then like the game looks so cool to begin with.
Yeah, no, that I really should. It's probably going to be one of those things, like, after my next paycheck, I'll be like, well, now I can.
Get it.
But,
Get it.
shut up.
Get it. So, what? I'm not saying.
I said, shut your pie hole, Bobby. But yeah, our last little bit of tidbit news here. And if you're listening to this podcast, you probably already saw, or if not, you can jump over to the eShop and buy it. Lightfall releases this week, April 26th.
Woo!
Yes, that's that cool platformer that we saw in the Nindy highlight reel, highlight direct, whatever the heck you want to call it. And
Yep.
we also saw it at PAX. We have an interview over on Nintendo World Report TV and all that good stuff. But yeah, it looks like a really cool game. And I believe, are you playing it yet?
No.
Not
Nope.
yet?
Not yet.
You will be, though.
I don't know yet.
I guess that will be a mystery until next episode. But yeah, I mean, with that, we're at the end of the news here. That's it. Light
We are.
week. Finally, a light week for news and eShop Roundup. But luckily, we had
No, seriously.
a ton of games to talk about, and we have a nice little surprise sesh coming up soon too.
Oh
or
yeah,
next,
I
I
hear him
should
knocking on
say.
the door. This crazy Bostonian.
Dim the lights. Be quiet. He might not know we're
shh.
here.
No, yeah, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have Alex Culafi on the show, and we're going to play my hit new segment spinoff.
Oh
game.
boy, this should be interesting. Variety, and we are back, and we are honored to be joined by the host of Nintendo News Report over on NWR TV, as well as the panel host extraordinaire, the one and only Mr. Alex Culafi.
Hi.
Alex.
Hello.
What's happening, man?
Nothing much. It is a late night here in good old Massachusetts, talking to two of my best buddies from PAX East 2018, getting ready to talk about something I don't quite understand yet, but I'm good.
Don't worry, you're not alone.
Casey doesn't know either.
I have no idea what's going on here.
I know, this is exciting.
Concocted something, some sort of plan.
Do you see that? This is the sound of me rubbing my hands together, like I've planned something.
It sounds like sandpaper.
I would say you're a pervert. I don't even want to know what's going on over there.
My hands. Anyway, okay. So I am now sending the email that has everything, and let's see if this works. So, because I can't, yeah. Okay.
I sent
so
them the wrong way.
The message has been sent. Hopefully, tell me you guys got it. So I'm going to introduce what it's called. Are you ready? It's a brand new show. I mean, not a show. This is the show.
The
brand
spin-off?
new game. It's a brand new game. It is a spin-off of one of our segments.
Oh boy.
It's a spin-off of Mystery History, and it is called Mystery Reverse.
Is the subtitle Explorers of Sky?
No.
It should
Or
be.
Red Rescue Team?
Like Mystery Dungeon. Oh, now I get it.
Oh man.
It's like Explorers of the Sky. Isn't that like like Final Fantasy? Like no, the four.
No,
Four
that's
Years
the
of
DS. That's the DS Mystery Dungeon game. It was They did the sequels, and that was like the third version to the Mystery Dungeon sequels.
I thought we
okay.
could make it through this segment without Alex mentioning Pokemon, but of course we couldn't.
No,
Just
sir.
kidding.
At least you didn't
Okay.
try to kick Splatoon 2 off of any lists just yet.
Yeah.
Became a heel at a PAX East panel because I tried to kick Splatoon 2 off. It's a fine game, but that's all it will ever be.
No. No.
He's
This is
coming
coming
in
from the
here.
guy you've never even played Team Splatoon.
He's
before
throwing
with your
shade
friends.
right at Perry, right in his face.
Right in my face.
He's in the lion's den just
You
taunting
haven't
him.
even played it. You haven't even played it.
You're right, I haven't played the game. That's not true. I haven't played
that's
that much
not true.
multiplayer, but I got all my Splatoon out in the first Splatoon game, and I feel like Splatoon 2 is a improved Splatoon 1 with some good new content. And
Yeah.
it wasn't what I was looking for, but I respect that so many people love it. And boy, do I know how many people love it.
Oh man, that was so
You
funny.
learn that the hard way.
Yeah.
Anyway, to get into my new segment, which you're putting the kibosh on.
Yeah, we're gonna just keep stalling this out, and
do
it's
you
gonna
have,
be.
do you have the zip drive?
I gotta open a zip.
Did you get the attachment?
I
You have
did.
your .7z.
You didn't get the attachment?
No, I see it there. I wasn't sure.
Okay, download it, both of you.
I got
So,
it, yeah. Okay.
what this is,
And the computers just blow up.
I know.
And that's the
And
end
that's
of the
the
Talk
last we
Nintendo
heard of Alex
podcast. Yeah.
and Casey. Okay, so what this game is it's called Mystery Reverse. There are 7 different songs, and I'm going to give you each 15-second snippets of famous Nintendo songs played backwards.
Oh God.
And you're going to have to get, it's kind of like radio trivia, but
But just
you're gonna
harder?
but kind of. And so you have to guess. So the first one to guess it gets a point. Now, we're going to do it in the Skype chat, because unless you guys have any other better way, but I was thinking just like maybe like type a word into Skype or something.
I don't know. You're the
If that's
boss,
okay.
man.
That's okay. Well, I'm just going to say that's what I wanted to do, but if you had any other
Just
ideas. So-
hit 0 into the chat.
Yeah, that'll be good. Okay, and then so the first one who types it in will get their first chance. And then here's the thing, though: if you type it in and you get it wrong, it's -1 point. So
Don't want to jump.
So,
So what happens if no
yeah.
one answers?
if
Is
no one
there a
answers,
pass?
there's a second. There's a second song introduced
Okay.
into each one. So and then if it doesn't get after that, then we just pass.
All right. All right.
If no one wants to guess. So there's 7 songs. Yep, and that's it. So what we're gonna do, and what I should have done, well, I guess I think I Oh boy, hold on. I did this on my other computer. So I have to download
The
it on
debut
this
of Mystery of Reverse off to a stellar start.
off
right
to
now.
a reversed start. Let's see.
I mean, what you should do is just play it for us, and then you could just edit in the good track afterwards. You know.
No.
So then this way we both
Because
hear
you're
it
gonna
at
have
the
to
same
sync
time.
everything up. I mean, I should just listen to it all now so I can win.
Yeah, Alex already
Don't
has
listen.
1 through 7.
That's why I didn't send it. Don't listen.
Oh, then one of these
Honor-
games in
have
this
some honor.
folder here.
Okay, so what you want to do is we're gonna go to game number 1, and we're all gonna press play at the same time. Okay. That's the idea. And it goes, and what it's gonna do, it's gonna go for 15 seconds, and it's gonna stop. The audio is not gonna be done.
Oh, okay,
But
I see.
The game will be stopped, and then we will go from there. So, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
I think so.
All right, but you guys gotta be. Don't cheat.
So this
You're not
is.
gonna cheat, are you? Alex?
I've already got my Shazam app set up here. I'm hoping it can pick it up for me.
No cheating. I'll be
Yeah,
able to
because
tell.
Shazam will tell you that something's on the Chicken Wiggle soundtrack.
Perry's like, how does he already know there's a Chicken Wiggle song?
Okay. Game number 1. Here we go. Ready?
Are we press play?
Are you ready? Yep.
Yep.
Go ahead and press play, and then just stop it when it ends after 15
Now?
seconds. Go.
All right. Now, here's the question. How are you looking for an exact title like of the game?
Yep. This has to be the name of the game.
Okay. So it looks
name
like
of the
I
game.
got it in there first, right?
Yeah, because I don't. Yeah.
All right. So just guess here.
Yep. Go ahead.
New Super
is it?
Mario Bros. U.
Wrong.
Oh,
-1 points for Casey.
in the hole already.
Yep. All right. Good. Now.
Alex did
Alex,
answer.
You
or
did.
pinged
Yep.
in.
You have to answer because you pinged in.
Oh, what if I change my mind? I'm just
Nope.
kidding.
Nope. That's the rules. You got to answer.
I can tell that the logic here that Casey used, which is the logic I used here, is that you heard a reverse ba,
Yep.
so you know it's one of 4 games.
Yep.
Nailed it.
And if I was making a game for number 1, I would actually go back to basics, and I would suggest that it's New Super Mario Brothers on the Nintendo DS.
Yes. He wins.
All right. I don't like the. Yeah, I quit.
That was good. Okay. All right.
This is a lead I'm
See,
never
I
gonna
didn't-
climb
see,
out of,
here's
or
the
this
thing
hole.
is with no. The thing here is that, yeah, this is the first game, so the rules might change next time around, but we're gonna go with these rules this time. So see how it goes. It's kind of hard to tell. Anyway,
Are you stacking the deck in Alex's favor here? You trying to embarrass me, Perry?
how am I? How? No.
You gave him
6
this.
Pokemon Ruby song.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rest of them are Xenoblade 2 songs, Casey. So you're set.
I'll probably still get it wrong.
Yeah, you probably would. Okay. Game number 2. Are you guys ready?
All right, hold on. I gotta open up game number 2 here.
And just tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, yep,
All
I'm
right.
ready whenever you are.
Go. No guesses yet. Oh, Alex put his guess in. All right.
Okay.
So now here's the
Casey?
thing. Now I'm not gonna guess right now. If he gets this wrong, I get to listen to the next 15-second snippet.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'm holding my guess.
Nice. Okay. All right, Alexander.
All right, Percival. It sounds so there's like a boom 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 that to me sounds a lot like a Wario game, and specifically a WarioWare game. And I think it's such a shot in the dark here that I don't think I'm gonna get it right, but I think it's WarioWare micro games on the Game Boy Advance.
You got it right, you sly dog.
Oh, sick!
That's amazing.
All right.
How would
Good
I look
job,
this up?
Alex.
Let me
Thank
ask
you.
you. When did you send him these games? What time today? Was it earlier today?
No.
Yeah.
I sent it just now.
Forgot to
Casey,
set mine out.
Casey, I want you to win. I want our guests to lose. You know this.
I don't believe you one iota.
It's rival podcast. This is to determine who has the objectively better podcast.
Well,
Exactly.
I blame Perry for setting me up for disaster on that one then.
I'm not setting you up for nothing. Okay, you're the one that guessed without knowing. Okay.
I almost knew.
You
It seems
did
like the
almost.
strategy here is if you're choosing something from a Nintendo series where a lot of the games are relatively similar,
Pick the first
my
one.
strategy is to pick the first game because picking anything else is a mean choice unless it's the most recent one.
I'm taking everything you say into account. All right. Number 3. Are you ready?
No.
Tell me when you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
All right. Set. Go. All right. Casey guessed first.
This now what
right.
happens when the logic is there's two versions of this game and one's the original and one's the newest? Or at least I think.
I don't know what that means.
There's
But-
2 WarioWare Game Boy Advance versions.
Well, I'm
like, there's
thinking-
the GameCube one too.
It sounded an awful lot like Zelda, and now
Okay,
which
so
one?
you're guessing right now.
Yes.
So,
Well, yeah, I have to, right? I pinged
Yep.
in here.
yep.
It sounds like Ocarina of Time, but the question is it Ocarina of Time or is it the 3D version?
It's the same soundtrack.
Okay, so Ocarina of Time, Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Nope, it's the 3D one.
Yeah.
No, yep, you got it right. That's good.
Woo!
See,
I'm back.
yourself out.
I'm
Digging
back
yourself
up
out.
to 0.
Yep, you're back up to 0. We're in a hole. We're just gonna have to dig ourselves out. All right. Okay, wonderful. Very good. So the score right now is Casey 0, Alex 2.
Interesting.
All right. But I may have a surprise
Oh
for
God.
the last game. Okay. Number 4. Game number 4. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Set, go. This song is scary. All right.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna withhold.
Okay.
I
Alex.
feel like it's on the tip of
I'm
my
gonna
tongue
be
too.
wrong here, but I don't think it's Pokemon Red and Blue, but that's what I thought it was the first time I heard it.
So is that your guess?
That's my guess. I don't have a better guess.
Oh, Alex. You are
Oh.
wrong.
I know. It was
You're
because
wrong.
for the first few seconds it sounds like "Da-na-na-na." It sounds a bit like a Pokemon battle theme, and then I hit the 0 because I got excited, and then when I went back to it, I was like, "Oh, this is some like Super Nintendo stuff or something."
See, yeah, the first, I'm not going to, no guesses or I don't want any hints or anything, but to me it
Yep.
sounded like almost like a Mega Man X game of some sort, but then I just couldn't put my finger on it, so, and I was like, I better just hold out. But now
Okay, so
I
then
get to listen
let's
to the
go to
next
the-
bit, right?
The next segment, yeah. And Alex can guess on this next one, too.
Oh, but then he'll just get more negative points, right?
Exactly.
Well, we'll see. I had some pretty good 2-song streak at first. Where do I go? Do I just go to the middle of the song? The middle of the
It
track?
should be around...
I think
it's
20.
around 20.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, the second song.
Yep.
Okay.
No. Yeah, it's in the middle
Still
of
game
number
for,
4.
yeah, at like the
Around
20-second
20
mark.
seconds.
Okay, so at the 20-second mark, that's
Yep.
where the next song is going to be.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Are you ready?
Yep.
I am.
Set. Go. Oh, Casey. Casey is guessing.
I definitely know what franchise it is. I hope I get it right.
Oh.
I'm taking Alex's strategy here, though, so I'm gonna keep quiet. But is so no ping
All right,
for
you
Alex,
done?
right?
Alex?
Huh?
right.
No.
Okay.
All right. Interesting. Okay, Casey, what's your guess?
This is definitely an Advance Wars game, so I'm gonna go with the classic Advance Wars for Game Boy. Advance.
You got it, buddy. Woo!
There was no Advance Wars Game Boy game. -2 points.
Yeah, you actually lose. We're gonna give those points to Alex.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It is Pokemon Red and Blue.
Actually.
there was Game Boy Wars.
Yeah.
Oh well, because Wars is a franchise. I guess.
Eat that,
I guess
Alex.
Wars kind of counts.
No, okay, yeah. So this is Andy's theme from
That like guitar
the original
riff. You
And
know what I mean?
to be honest, I'm pretty sure that they have the same. And I'm serious. I'm pretty sure that it's the same soundtrack. They have a lot of the same songs in the first 3 games there, like up until Dual Strike even.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, Casey, it's tied.
Like I said,
At
it's
game
that
number
like
4.
it's that guitar riff in that song
Yeah.
that stands. Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, but
Cool.
can you do that again for us? That could be the.
Wait, am I listening to the real song?
Yeah. I thought I pressed pause. that could be part
okay.
of the jingle, Perry.
Yeah.
Mystery history.
It's called Mystery Reverse, you idiot. Okay.
Oh, then you gotta revert.
Yeah.
I think I have an idea for what I'm gonna do. But okay, are we ready for game number 5?
Yes,
Of course
sir.
not.
How long are we? Okay, so you guys are ready to go then, right?
Yep.
I'm ready to go now.
All right, go. Oh, this sounds so cool.
Oh, duh.
It's on the tip of my tongue, maybe, but I'm not guessing.
Oh, dude, I love that first snippet. Okay, no listening anymore. Don't be cheating.
I'm done. I'm paused.
All right. So no guesses, huh? It's a hard one, I think. With that snippet, I tried to pick it a little hard.
I'm 60% sure what it is, but I'm still gonna abstain from guessing.
I thought that sounded actually really cool. That snippet.
You sure,
the
Alex?
beginning?
You don't want to get a quick -1 point here? Make a epic comeback?
Yeah, you don't want to do that?
Who's making the epic comeback here?
Well, you let me get ahead, and then you can try.
Wait, do you have 3 points now?
No, I think we're all knotted up at 2, right, Perry? Or 1, excuse me.
Yeah,
at
1. Yep.
We both have 1 point. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So go to the next. So if you go to
Are
the
we
second
not
song,
telling the answers to these songs like after?
No, because you get one more try with there's another clip it. There's
Yeah,
another
this is the
snippet in
same
there.
game.
So same game.
Okay.
So if you go to the 20-second mark on game number 5, and then tell me when you guys are ready.
I'm ready when you are, big fella.
Okay.
All right, go.
Duh. I know what this game is.
All right. So yeah, no one put in a thing, but you're just gonna guess now, Alex. Because technically, Casey could still say it before you now, because you didn't put it.
Yeah,
in
but I'd need to know
No,
what
I
it
did.
is.
I just put a 0.
You did?
I thought I did.
I don't
No.
see
No,
one.
you
Oh,
liar.
Whoops. I thought I did. I'll put in a
you're-
0.
He's cheating.
Okay, now we. All right,
Okay.
Alex, what is this game?
So the train gave it away. Dun 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 dun
Oh
dun
God.
dun na 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 na. If it's Wild World, I'm gonna reach through Skype and strangle you. But
Alright.
I'm pretty sure it's the GameCube game Animal Crossing Dobutsu no Mori.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, on the GameCube.
Yes, you got it.
Yeah,
Boom.
the pleasant beginning, like sort of like it leaned towards it, but I didn't know it first. And then when I heard the train, I was
Yep.
like, oh.
There you go.
See, I don't think I heard the train.
Because it's not at the 20-second mark. It's like at the 30-second mark. The next track is on
There you
these.
go.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, well,
Are you ready?
2-1. All right, hold on. Now we're open up. This is game number 6, right?
Yep. Game number 6. Are you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
No cheating.
I'm cheating.
All right. Set. Go.
Oh, it's like
No guesses yet.
I'm not
All right.
guessing.
All right.
Yeah.
It's like
Neither
again,
am I.
I could sort of.
Really?
I feel like I could sort of almost pull like almost connected it to something, and then all of a sudden, then I'm like, no, I don't know.
It sounds like a SNES RPG, like a Final Fantasy VI Chrono Trigger type thing, but I'm not convinced it's actually that.
Well, I guess
All
we're
right.
gonna find out in our second clip here. Although,
Are you
so
ready
how
for the
many
second clip?
how many clips are within?
There's only 2.
Okay, so this is the last one here.
Yep.
All right,
So
All right.
at 2, at 20 seconds.
all right.
Okay.
Tell us when.
Go. Let's see if we'll get him here.
Oh my God, I don't know. It's like
Wow, this is amazing.
I feel
All right.
like I get so close to trying
So make
to
sure
almost
when
connect
it
it.
stops.
Is
to
there
stop.
is there a third clip?
Yeah, no listening.
No. I skipped ahead and I accidentally heard the beginning, but like now I know what series it is, but I don't know what the game is. So
It's funny.
whatever.
I think I did the same thing, but I think I know what game it is. But I feel like
Yeah.
that's cheating. So
No, it's well,
Well, I mean, I guess we both cheated, so no one cheated.
yeah, that works.
Ping!
All right, Casey.
Although-
Casey has his guess.
although now this is where I'm gonna get it wrong and I'm gonna lose a point.
yeah.
But I think it might. Is it my favorite game of all time? Link to the Past.
It is.
See,
Alex, is that what you're gonna guess?
I was gonna guess Zelda, and because it sounds like a little too chiptune to be Ocarina of Time, I probably would have guessed somewhere in that wheelhouse, but I didn't know
Gotcha.
exactly.
and
so hats off.
like
to
having
Casey.
heard that like literally it was like 1/2 a second of just it playing
Yep.
forward, and I'm like that's it, like that's where I feel like my head wanted to go, but I couldn't put it there, and it said
So you cheated.
Yep.
Is what you're saying.
I mean, if you go back about a minute or two, I said I'm cheating, so I was up front.
That's true.
You did not
Alex,
object.
what do you
so.
feel about that? I don't want to feel like you're cheated here. Should we give
It's,
him a half point?
No,
It's
give me no
a
points.
fun podcast video. No, I don't care. It's.
Okay.
I mean, I cheated
All
too.
right.
It's all in good fun. I listened to
Okay.
it too.
I know.
Alex,
sorry, this is kind
means
of a
more
hard...
than me than you don't even believe. I need this. This is everything.
This is all I got.
Okay, well then that ties it up amazingly at
Wait,
2-2.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that was the end of the game. I was like, that's not true.
Yeah.
No,
Liar.
no, that ties it up. Now, yeah, so I know it's really easy to cheat on this game, so I hope you guys aren't cheating. But this last game, game number 7, are we ready? This is going to be it. Whoever wins this one, although you're both going to guess and it's going to be wrong, and then
We're
it's
both
gonna tie
gonna
at 1 point.
Well, I was gonna. Didn't you say there was something special about Game 7? I thought we were gonna be doubling the point values or something.
Quadrupling them even.
Yeah. So then
Well,
that way, if we
yes,
win,
there
we
is
got
something.
big fat points, and if we lose, we're
Yep,
just
yep.
negative Nancy's.
Yep, this last one is worth double points, so it's
1
worth 2 points.
million.
But I as like it doesn't really make a difference now because. But anyway,
I'm ready.
okay. All right, and if you guess wrong, it's just -1. But if you guess right, it's +2. All right, ready, set, go.
I think I got it.
Casey guessed.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, no listening. All right, there's 2 guesses in.
I gotta go
All right.
first, right?
Yep.
No, this could be dirty. This could be a dirty Perry move if he was trying to be a big Jimmy.
Dirty Perry.
And you're totally being a Jim bot
Dude.
right now, aren't you?
Hey Casey, I gotta ask you something.
What?
Do you feel lucky?
I don't. You big
Well,
Jimmy.
punk.
All right, now if I had to, all right. So this is Super Smash Brothers. Now, I would say Wii U version, but Perry is a Jimmy, and he played way more Smash on 3DS. So I'm saying Super Smash Brothers for the 3DS.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're the same exact soundtrack.
I guess both.
Alex is our
So-
winner.
Yeah.
He covered all bases.
Now, Casey, you got it right because I think
Yeah.
they're the same. It's just the menu title. So
Woo!
I just put Smash Bros. 4. So Yes, Casey wins 4-2.
Take that, Nintendo News Report. Get off my grill.
And that's that. Talk Nintendo is the better podcast.
There it is.
Now.
Well, what we have that you guys don't is brevity. Our episodes average at 40 minutes in length, and as they say, brevity is the soul of wit.
See, we more like to just ramble on and hope that people somehow maybe like fall asleep while listening to the podcast, so it rings out for the full 2 hours and change.
It's my favorite thing.
Good old Martino.
That you guys, you invited me on for the last second for the last segment to not subject me to the first 2 hours of rambling, which I'm a little saddened by, of course.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm not getting the full Talk Nintendo King of the Hill meme experience.
Well, you will definitely be coming on again.
Oh,
So,
of course, my friend.
because we only invite people on so they can lose at our own games.
Yeah, isn't it funny that every time we have a guest on, we have some sort of new game they don't know about, and we always win.
That's funny. Yes. Alex, you mentioned with Nintendo News Report, you also have a secret weapon that is Donald Terrio on your podcast.
Yes, he's the secret weapon.
He's plenty meme friendly.
He starts every single episode of that show with a meme that I don't understand but still appreciate because I know how deep of a cut it is.
The dedication.
And often it's like some Canadian sports thing, or it's instead of King of the Hill we have Canadian sports. Mm-hmm. So it's something for us to look forward to. But no, Donald's amazing because he helps organize the whole show and he is so abreast of the news from being news editor that even though I host the show, I'm very glad to have someone that is as qualified to talk about Nintendo news as Donald Terrio, because sometimes I'm like, is that game coming out on May 25th? And he's like, no, June 2nd. I'm like, oh, thanks, Donald.
Yeah, it was pushed back because of this, that, on this date, at this time, because of
Oh,
this.
And as you will see on slide 13 of the Nintendo financials. No, Donald's the shit.
Remember, he was on our segment with for the telethon. He was our producer. And yeah, he was like,
yeah, he'd chime in with some facts.
Our live fact check.
Yeah.
Yeah, that boy knows everything.
Yeah, we have a little news section here, but it's pretty much just me, and it's not very good. So, I'm no Donald.
On the case.
Yeah, case on the case.
Now, Alex, before you go, please tell us all about your show, what you do, and everything. Just tell us about.
Tell
Alex.
us your life story. Go.
Your
So I'm
phone
proud.
number.
Your social security.
So I'm proud to announce that we've announced that Nintendo News Report is getting acquired by Talk Nintendo Podcast for $122 million in equity. Half of that's going to be stock. I'm very excited to join the Talk Nintendo team. No, we do a podcast
7% royalty on every episode.
Yep.
until I get kicked out by the board in 2 years.
We pay in peanuts, so.
I went for a walk shortly before this podcast because I thought it was going to be at 9 o'clock. It was a little bit late, so I went to a Whole Foods near me and I actually made some fresh honey roasted peanut butter in their peanut butter machines, which I'm very excited to try.
Peanut butter.
What a
after
very
this.
stereotypical millennial you are.
It's fantastic. So I live on the outskirts of Boston. This isn't some Mad Max thing. This is where the rent is affordable and I have tea access.
Yeah, seriously, I don't know how anyone lives in a city. I'm just gonna be honest.
Ugh.
It's I always thought I was gonna want to live in the city until I actually like commuted in the city every day, and I'm like, so much jaywalking, like higher risk of getting hit by a car. There's so much noise at night.
It's
I don't know.
See, to me, the thing with cities is like I never feel more like insignificant than when walking in a city and being close to so many people all the time. I just feel like a speck of nothing.
Yeah, but it also
I
makes
What do you
you
mean?
feel like
Feel like?
it makes you feel like there's there's a world of potential too, because it's like, oh, if I lived in the city, I could walk outside my door and get a slice of 7-Eleven pizza without taking 15 steps. By the way, 7-Eleven pizza, tried it the other day. It's okay, just tastes like DiGiorno.
Dude. So last night, we're pretty hungry. It's like 9:30, and the pizza place is open till 10. So we take a little stroll over there. It's like a half mile away. It's not too bad. We get there, of course, closed, even though they're technically open. Whatever. So we happen to pass the 7-Eleven, and we're like, all right, like, I guess let's get some 7-Eleven pizza. So we ordered a full pie. It was like $5. I brought it home.
Got a nice
Dude, I
7-Eleven pizza pie.
I ate
New
4
Yorker
slices.
over here.
I housed
We ordered the full pie.
and I housed I have housed the pizza, right? Oh man, was I feeling it all today. Up until just about right before recording. It was I mean, don't get me wrong.
Did you have a good bowel movement before recording?
Throughout the entire day, Perry. I felt like playing a lot of South Park. You know, obviously there's a lot of butt jokes and stuff. I was like, oh god, it's coming to life. But yeah, no, it's not bad. To me it tasted like Elio's or something like that.
So you both tried 7-Eleven pizza like in the past 24 hours for the first time?
Not 24 hours. I tried it like in the last maybe week and a half. But
okay.
We can still bond over the fact that we tried it so close to each other.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't bad,
and,
but maybe I shouldn't eat 4 slices next time.
That
was my bad.
7-Eleven pizza is just a DiGiorno that you get without the box. That's all. Or it's like a 7-Eleven. It's like a store brand frozen pizza that they cook for you and then hand you without a sealed box.
Oh, see,
so it's automatically less safe.
See, I got like a legit pizza
gross.
box. We got a full pie, so
Like
A full pie.
we got the
saying it like it's some legitimate food.
we got the VIP treatment down at Sevo, man. You know, it's like valued customer.
I don't know why that's so funny, but it's just calling it a full pie. It's just
well, what is
funny.
it? If every
pizza?
slice is
It's a
present,
pie.
it's a full pie.
It's like an apple pie or a pumpkin pie or a 7-Eleven pie.
Well, I feel like most people from 7-Eleven that get a slice, like they grab a slice. You know, it's like not often. Like they're probably like, man, did you just order a full pie? And like it was probably they'd probably be talking about that for a good week or two over at that 7-Eleven.
So
Yeah.
I heard a story the other day. Well, I guess we're in rambling for a few minutes mode before I actually
go
tell
for
you
it.
who I am. I saw a friend the other day. We'll call him Mike. He's not a Mike. He's a name very similar to that. It's fine.
Miguel?
And he told me a story.
Matt?
It's might be one of those. It's fine. So he was telling a story about he and his GF went clubbing, but he couldn't get into the club because he wore shorts to the club. So they went to the club, and he went to another bar to drink, which is just setting up the narrative a little bit. Anyways, it's late at night. He gets very hungry. He goes to a 7-Eleven, but the microwave is not plugged in, and he wanted a burrito, but the microphone was not plugged in. So he bought the burrito, and he was so hungry because he wanted that drunk food.
Oh, no.
So... And it was late at night, and it was cold, and he didn't want to eat in a 7-Eleven because a Boston 7-Eleven at night is kind of a seedy place. So he stuck himself into these, like, slightly revolved locked door, and he ate a cold 7-Eleven burrito in a revolving door at 11 o'clock at night in downtown Boston. This is a grown adult man, has a job, has a home, has a girlfriend.
He's a functioning human being.
Yes, and he also ate a cold, uncooked 7-Eleven burrito in a revolving door within the last 2 weeks.
That's rough.
Yeah.
I got a 7-Eleven revolving door story. in
Do
Boston.
you now?
Could you?
Yeah. Well, I got some iced coffee, and I was sitting outside. I was waiting for Casey and Kate and Jill to get done. And this scary-looking guy walked up to me, and he said, "Can I have a cigarette?" I said, "I don't smoke." "Oh, okay, no problem. Have a good day."
God bless.
Yeah, exactly. God bless, and then he left.
Well, he's like,
Okay.
Never to be seen
he's
again.
like, this worthless little speck probably smoked some cigarettes to feel good about himself.
Yeah, then I pulled out my cigarettes as he walked away.
Yeah, and smoked 2 of them, or broke one in half just for good
and
measure.
yeah, No, I'd smoke 2 at a time.
I don't need this.
Maybe he listens to Talk Nintendo podcast and he was so shy and he wanted to say hi, but like he didn't want to be confrontational about it, so he's like, could I a cigarette?
Well, yeah, I mean, if he was, he should have asked me for a sticker because I had him on hand.
Hey man, you got
Maybe
a
he
stick
meant
I can
sticker.
Yeah. Hey, can I have a sticker? A stickerette?
Yeah, like he wanted to use the female pronoun for the sticker.
But he didn't want to be offensive.
Stickerette.
He wanted to be very progressive.
Yep. No, anyway.
How did we get here?
I don't know. Now, Alex, yes.
Yeah.
So, Nintendo News Report, it's a weekly YouTube and iTunes show, right?
Yeah. So, my name is Alexander Emmanuel Culafi. I live in Boston, Massachusetts. I write about startups for a living, but Boston startups, so no one would necessarily be too associated with that on the show. But in my spare time, I do a couple of podcasts. One of those is called Nintendo News Report. It is a weekly Nintendo news podcast where we go over the news of the week. Sometimes it gets rambly, but it's all fun rambles. You boys know how it is. And it's me, Mr. Donald Terry of Nintendo World Report, Mr. Neil Ronahan sometimes of Nintendo World Report, Mr. Zachary Miller of Nintendo World Report, and Mr. Justin Berube of Nintendo World Report. And it's a fun time. It is usually a brief show. Some of the fun ones go to an hour and a half. Some of the typical shows it's really a 40-minute commitment. We do it on YouTube live every week, typically on a Thursday at around 10 o'clock at night Eastern, though that sometimes changes. And it is a good old time. I also do a podcast with a couple IRL buddies called 3 Unprepared Men that is available on SoundCloud. It will be a weekly podcast. We've just put up 2 test episodes so far to try stuff up. It's a variety show. It was kind of like how you guys are close friends and you wanted an excuse to podcast together. Me and my friends have been talking about doing a podcast forever, so we do a variety show that's basically structured rambling. So the first episode was coming up with the name of the podcast. Second episode was ranking top 10 fast food restaurants in America. We also do one where we try to come up with a sitcom from scratch, which is coming out in a few weeks. And it's a good old time. 3 Unprepared Men on SoundCloud and iTunes, and I believe Google Play. And then also I am available on Twitter at CULAFIA. Ask me all the questions about Pokemon you want.
But don't go to him for Splatoon.
Don't go to me for Splatoon. Go to me for Pokemon and most non-Nintendo video games. And I've been reading a lot of Haruki Murakami, so I can talk about like 5 of his books too.
Now, I remember we did a show on connectivity. Remember that? The Themesters?
That was very early, huh?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. And I just remember you saying, like, when you were playing Pokemon when you were little, or I can't remember this exactly, but you told I think it was because you wanted Pokemon to be real, maybe, and you told your mom, you asked her, you said, "Get me a scientist."
Oh yeah,
what was that?
That's been a minute. I remember it was around the time Pokemon the movie 2000 came out, so anything was possible at that point in my life. Not anymore, that's for sure. It's look where I am right now. It's a very fine program. But what I'm saying is, so I saw Pokemon the movie 2000. This must have been Gold and Silver or Crystal. And I really wanted Pokemon to be real, and I must have been pretending, with my friends that I was like a gym leader or something. We were playing like real life Pokemon battles, whatever. And I asked my mom, can we get a scientist so we can make Pokemon real? Specifically, I wanted a Lugia, which would definitely not be the starting place for a scientist if you're trying to make a Pokemon from scratch.
Yes, let's make one of the biggest Pokemon right off the bat.
One of the most powerful.
That'll make all the other Pokemon seem easy to make.
The second movie, if either of you saw it, I don't blame you if you didn't, is about Lugia basically destroying the world and taking it out of balance until Obviously, Ash saves the day. But it's probably the worst idea for a Pokemon if a scientist was going to not only perfect cloning, gain the IP for this franchise, have enough of a heart and enough of a scientific know-how to desire to create this, but also create an animal's DNA from nothing but Satoshi Tajiri's imagination.
Mm-hmm. He'd be a pretty good scientist. He's probably going to be costly.
he might be a little bit expensive, but no, that's me. That's my stuff. Thanks so much, guys. This was a lot of fun. I enjoy the rapport. I sensed a little bit of it at PAX East. I was like, these are some guys I can chill with. And now
we had a lot of fun. Went to Jimmy John's.
That Jimmy John's, man.
That was good.
It's that might be one of the top 10 fast food restaurants.
Well, I was gonna say that. I mean, I've only had one experience there, but I say it cracks the list.
I think it does. It might be low on the list. Subway definitely did not make it.
I do like Subway too, but
I like Subway.
But it's not top 10. Subway is good.
May I ask you what was your number 2 restaurant that you figured out? Do you know?
I remember number 1, but I could.
Well,
you can just listen to the podcast and skip to the end.
How about this?
I'll give a couple.
A side question, sort of relating to fast food, but Pepsi or Coke?
Yes. Which one?
Oh, I answered this question for you, but
now
I see I'm going to do it again. And I look
my
forward to
homeboy.
your honest reaction. I can respect that. No, my honest answer is I love a Coca-Cola. I think there's nothing better on a hot summer day than a Coca-Cola. I will
Alex?
homie up with a Pepsi. Like, I was going to say I will F with a Pepsi. Like, I was going to be cool and say it that way, but I'm not totally sure on the language on this show, so I was being respectful.
Perry likes
Thanks,
to keep
Alex.
it PG.
Yeah.
Casey likes to keep it PG-13.
He restricts my censorship, damn it. I mean, dang it.
So I don't know. I don't know what that means. So you're a Pepsi guy?
No, I'm a Coke guy, but I can enjoy a Pepsi from time to time. Let me tell you about a Coca-Cola I had today. Do either of you know Johnny Rockets?
I do.
Okay, so Johnny Rockets is a 50s diner-style fast food establishment, kind of like a tier above Five Guys, not necessarily in quality, but in, like, fanciness.
Yeah, it's more of a restaurant opposed to, like, I'd say Five Guys sort of a fast food establishment.
Yeah.
Right. It's that kind of thing, but the burgers, I would say, play in the same field as Five Guys, though I would say Five Guys burgers are probably better. But,
Gotcha.
Anyways, so... they do this thing at Johnny Rockets where they will put flavor syrups inside your sodas. And my favorite thing at Johnny Rockets is not the burgers, it's not the fries, it's not the tater tots, it's not the nothing. It's getting a Coca-Cola with chocolate syrup inside it. It's called the Chocolate Coke. And every time I go to a Johnny Rockets and I have the capacity to enjoy it, I will always order a Coke with chocolate syrup, and I only have it at Johnny Rockets. I understand it's something I could probably make in real life, but it is my favorite fast food. Not fast food, it is my favorite soda beverage, and it's
Alex,
Coca-Cola.
I got 2 things to say to you.
Yeah.
1, you're not diabetic. 2, you're a sick man.
It is. Speaking of things science should not mess with.
It reminds me of that time when I had chocolate syrup and orange juice. Sounds terrible.
But was it like a chocolate-covered orange, but just in a beverage form?
No, it was my mom thought it was leftover chocolate milk or leftover milk from the night before, so she just put a ton of chocolate syrup in it, swirled it around, and made me drink it.
This orange milk?
Well, I guess she didn't look into the cup, Like it was a solid cup, so I guess yeah. Ugh. And I was like, "Mom, there's something wrong with this." And she's like, "Shut up and drink it."
And he's like crying.
Yeah, so I was a little son of a gun who didn't want to drink his milk,
Dang it, Casey.
That's it. No video games for you.
She's like, 7 a.m. and already that boy ain't crying.
The new God of War, if any of you get the chance to play it, Kratos and his son Atreus' relationship is the Hank Hill and Bobby Hill
See,
relationship.
that makes me want to play it.
And that's
So-
how
It's
Perry
not, like,
bought a
funny.
PS4.
But yeah, that's my only video game thing to say this week is when you think King of the Hill and you start playing God of War, you realize that their relationship is the Hank and Bobby, where it's like Bobby's like a sweet, like emotionally centered, artistic, creative boy, and like that's who H-Race is. He's more like the intellectual, artistic, creative, sweet boy type, and then like Hank Hill's like gruff, more conventional, manly. Kratos is like he's got that military dad thing going on in this game, where he's not like screaming all the time like in God of War. He has like mostly a calm voice, except when like his son's life is at stake and like he has to defend him from draugrs and other Nordic creatures. But like in the quiet moments when it's just normal conversation, it is Hank Hill and Bobby Hill.
Bobby, if you weren't my son, I'd hug you.
I don't know you. That's my purse.
Okay, well, before this gets on, because we could talk about King of the Hill and God of War for a long... We should probably end the show. So again, Alex, where can we find you on Twitter again?
At Culafia, Culafia. It is also Culafi, my last name, and then my first initial. And
There you
then
go.
3 Unprepared Men and Nintendo News Report.
Beautiful. And then you can find us at Talk Nintendo POD. That's...
You messed it up, you big Jimmy. Yep, you can follow us on Twitter at Talk Nintendo Pod. That's what, Perry?
Oh.
Talk Nintendo POD. I got you. Don't worry, buddy.
No. You should have said that's Talk Nintendo Pod. Then it would have been fine.
Yeah. Well, no. Just because you have the mystery reverse, I'm not gonna let you use it as an excuse when you make a mistake. I'm gonna call you out in your Jimminess.
All right. Well, you can find us at Talk Nintendo Pod. That's...
Talk Nintendo POD.
All right.
DOPKLAT.
We just what? MNOPTQRS.
OD.
ZYXWVRTSRQP.
You're a loser. You're a loser. Are you feeling sorry for yourself?
You want a bottle? A dirt bottle? You big baby?
All
All
right,
right, you want to bring us... I'll bring us back.
All right.
Excuse me.
That's just it. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Perry likes to keep it PG.
I'd like to think Ron Howard was Nintendo's lawyer. Yep.
Yeah, hold on one sec. Yes. All right. Sorry.
What?
the Mets are in extra innings, and our one guy just hit a home run.
Are you watching that right now?
I just turned it on.
While you're talking?
I just turned it on for a half second, yeah. It was good timing. But yeah.
Our Labo's not done-o. You mean to tell me that the whole time I've been playing Switch, Nintendo's been spying on my body heats?